The evening sky over New York City was painted in deep shades of orange and purple. Skyscrapers glittered like diamonds, and the streets pulsed with energy. Midtown was alive, tourists snapping photos, couples holding hands, businessmen on phones, and shoppers carrying glossy boutique bags. Walking gracefully among them was Amara Johnson. To the world, she was a living legend, one of the youngest black billionaires in American history. Her journey was the stuff of movies. Born to school teachers in Atlanta, raised with discipline and love, she fought her way through Ivy League halls, started her company in a cramped apartment, and turned it into a global empire. Forbes called her the woman who redefined power. But if you saw her that night, you wouldn't know it. Her hair was neatly tied back, her navy blue suit perfectly tailored, and her steps unhurried. She wasn't flaunting her wealth or status. To most, she looked like any other successful professional, heading home after work. But appearances deceive. Waiting for her at the curb was a Rolls-Royce Phantom, its black paint so flawless it mirrored the neon glow of Times Square. She reached for the handle, but fate had other plans. A police cruiser slowed near the curb. Two officers inside noticed her. "Look at that," muttered Officer Harris, his tone dripping with disdain. "Lady like her? Near a car like that? Suspicious." His partner, Officer Miller, younger and hesitant, frowned. "She's just standing by the car. Doesn't look like trouble." "Doesn't matter what it looks like," Harris sneered, parking roughly. "Bet you a week's pay. She doesn't own that car." The two stepped out, their uniforms stark against the glowing city. "Hey!" Harris barked, startling nearby pedestrians. "Step away from the vehicle!" Amara turned, composed. "Excuse me?" "Don't play games. This your car?" His tone wasn't a question. It was an accusation. "Yes," Amara said calmly. "It is." Harris laughed, loud enough for others to hear. "Right. A car worth more than most houses? You expect me to believe that?" A small crowd began to form. Phones quietly rose, recording. Amara tilted her head, her eyes sharp but calm. "Why wouldn't you believe it?" Harris's jaw tightened. "Show me proof. Now." Amara reached, slowly into her clutch. "My ID is inside. Before she could finish, Harris shoved her shoulder hard. She stumbled back. Gasps rippled through the crowd. "Do not touch me," Amara warned, her voice low but steady. Harris smirked. "Don't tell me what to do. You think you're special?" He stepped closer, then, in one shocking motion, kicked the back of her leg. Amara buckled, collapsing to the pavement. The crowd exploded in outrage. "Yo, did you see that?" "He kicked her. For nothing." "I'm streaming this live." Officer Miller's eyes widened. "Harris, stop! She's not resisting." "Shut up, rookie," Harris snapped. "She's dangerous. Probably trying to steal this car." From the ground, Amara lifted her head slowly. Her palms stung, her leg throbbed, but her voice was unbroken. "You have no idea who you just put your hands on." The crowd thickened, voices rising. Some demanded Harris stop. Others shouted encouragement to Amara. Children clutched their mother's hands, eyes wide. Amara pulled herself up with grace, brushing off her suit despite the pain. She looked Harris dead in the eye. "You see a black woman beside a luxury car and assume she doesn't belong. That says more about you than me." The crowd erupted in cheers. Phones pointed like spotlights, capturing every second. But Harris, his pride burning, barked louder. "Enough! You're under arrest." "On what charge?" Amara asked, her voice like steel. He faltered for a split second but pushed forward. "Resisting! Disorderly conduct!" The crowd booed. Someone yelled, "We all saw!" "She didn't resist anything," Miller whispered urgently. "Harris, stop! This is out of line! Look at the cameras!" But Harris wasn't listening. His ego outweighed his judgment. Then, another voice rang out, deep, commanding. "Actually, officer..." I think the cameras will show something very different. Every head turned. Across the street, emerging from a luxury restaurant, was the mayor of New York City himself. Flanked by Secret Service agents, his face was thunderous. The crowd gasped. "That's the mayor! He saw everything!" "Oh, this cop is finished." The mayor strode across the street, ignoring traffic. His eyes locked on Harris. "I watched you assault this woman without cause," he declared. "Do you know who she is?" Harris stammered. She is Amara Johnson," the mayor thundered. "One of the most influential leaders in this city. And you just humiliated her in front of the entire world." The crowd roared. Harris's face turned ashen. Miller froze, guilt twisting in his chest. Amara stood tall, her chin high, her dignity intact despite the pain. She addressed Harris directly. "You thought you could kick me down and erase me. But you didn't just expose me, you exposed yourself." The mayor gestured sharply. Two internal affairs officers, alerted by his team, approached swiftly. "Officer, Harris!" The mayor's voice was ice. "You're suspended immediately. You'll answer for this tonight." Harris's voice cracked. "This is a mistake. She... No," Amara interrupted, her words deliberate. "The only mistake was yours. You thought power came from your badge. But true power comes from integrity and justice, something you clearly lack." The crowd erupted. Applause, cheers, chants of, "Justice! Justice!" Miller stepped forward, trembling. "Mayor! Ms. Johnson! I should have stopped him. I froze. But I swear I knew this was wrong." Amara looked at him for a long moment, her eyes piercing. Then she said softly, "Then let this be your lesson. Silence in the face of injustice is complicity. Don't make the same mistake again." Miller nodded, shame flooding his face. As Harris was handcuffed and dragged away, the crowd's chants grew louder. People live-streamed, news vans pulled up, and within minutes, Amara's name trended worldwide. The mayor placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You won't fight this battle alone. The city just saw everything." Amara gave a faint smile, not for herself, but for the young black girls in the crowd, who now looked at her with wide, inspired eyes. She wanted them to remember that strength could not be taken by a shove or a kick. She walked gracefully to her Rolls-Royce, every step deliberate, every movement a declaration. "I am unbroken." The crowd parted for her like royalty. Applause followed. Cameras flashed. As she entered the car, she looked once more at the people around her and spoke. "Remember this moment. Prejudice tried to silence me, but tonight we showed the world. Dignity cannot be kicked down." The door shut. The Rolls-Royce glided away, leaving behind a city forever changed. Because that night wasn't about a racist cop, it was about a black billionaire woman who refused to bow, and the powerful truth that someone was watching all along.